Baguio Creative Festival 2024. Yan, sabi na dito, inquisitive, disruptive, and creative. Can everybody shout, mabuhay?
Mabuhay!
Ayun, okay, so let's start. Start our media launch. We'll start, of course, with the pagmula tayo. No? We'll have the good announcement. May good news yata tayo, no? Some announcements from our City Tourism Officer, yung ating Supervising Operations and Tourism Officer, Engineer Aloysius C. Papalo. Palapalaman natin si Sir Alex. So, I think we have some good news to share us with. Some announcements. Yeah. He will be followed, of course, by Mang Venus Khan.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. And, I'm so happy to see you all as I just got back. And medyo growth keep on contact. Please bear with me. But yeah, there will be a lot of things and a lot of good news that we would like to share this morning. Particularly with regards to very different IBAGIW Creative Festival for this year. This is the 7th edition, so we'll give you a glimpse of what to expect for the entire year. For this year, starting with the opening this Friday, and with lots of many other activities throughout the month until December. I would like, perhaps later, to give you also a background of what we have done so far for the past IBAGIW. As I've said, this is our 7th. But meantime, sit back as we ask also our other analysts. I'm very grateful to be sitting with them here in front to reach all happy IBAGIW month once again for Baguio City. Thank you.
A happy IBAGIW month to you, sir, and to all of you. Next, of course, we have the co-chair of the City of Creative Baguio City Council, I believe, and the co-chair, Ma'am Marie Venus Khan. I think you're going to share with us the activities we're having for IBAGIW.
Thank you, Gav, and naibang usapan. Nabigat kayo aming ako. So, as we prepare our journey towards the 8th year of being a UNESCO Creative City, syempre, i-celebrate muna natin yung 7. And so, this is the 7th IBAGIW Creative City Festival of the City of Baguio in celebration of our designation as UNESCO for crafts and folk art. And so, this month, excited kami, talaga excited kami because there are many events and activities lined up for the whole month of November until December. So mag-uumpisa po tayo sa 8 November, no? Hanggang 8 December. So marami tayong activities. So, nagtataka kayo bakit ganyan ang theme? Inquisitive, disruptive, creative. DTI has already announced, no? Sila po ang leading agency to make sure that the country becomes a creative industry country. And that it becomes a creative country known globally in 2030. Too close for comfort, di ba? Kaya sabi namin, I think if we have to be creative country by 2030, we have to begin where? We have to begin in the very foundation of our society. And that is the children. Children are important to make sure that everything goes towards the goals and aspirations of our community. And so we feel that this year, this IBAGIW, we said, we will look at children and we'll make sure that we highlight how we should empower and enable them. Kaya inquisitive. It becomes inquisitive, so our children will be highlighted. There are many events that will feature and make sure that our children get interested in creativity. disruptive. Why? We look at innovation as a means to get out of the box. We've always had creativity ever since. Baguio has, and the Cordilleras for that matter, has always been very, very creative. But we've always been very traditional. But now, moving forward, I think we should start to be more progressive without losing our cultural identity. And so, we become disruptive and innovative in a way. But remain creative. And so that's the reason for the theme this year. Inquisitive, disruptive, creative. And so, Alec will provide the details of the various activities today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Venus. Sir Alec, kindly. We're having disrupted enough. So. Of course, let's say hi to the very lovely Regional Director, DOT, Ma'am Jovita Tamola. Good morning to you.
Yeah, sorry. Just to add, unfortunately, we're not seeing this one. You can see the logo there with the theme. So it has been discussed by Venus. Actually, it came from a discussion among the members and officers of CBCC as to how we can have a theme for this year. And it was so timely and very relevant that we started including the children as mentioned. But even then, with the knowledge that is being transferred or given to the children, this inquisitive attitude can maybe given answers that can also be challenged. So yung disruption phase. So sabi na natin provoke and ating theme, and that is why we have lined up activities that will also not only provoke our creativity, but even our mindset on how to go ahead with go ahead pursuing re-establishing our distinction as a UNESCO Creative City. But before we go ahead with the activities, and many of our fellow panelists here will discuss the details of these activities for this year, I would just like to walk you through our previous humble achievements for the past years, particularly for the past 3 years. Officially, we started the Creative Festival in 2018. But if you remember, we still call it ENTACO, the Creative Festival, that it was the first edition. And then it was in 2019 when we started officially using the new name, IBAGIW. It is a coined term now actually has many different meanings. It simply meant IBAGIW being, as we know it, the basis, as story says, the basis of how Baguio was named. This is the Moss, Baguio, and therefore referring to our city in that colloquial term. E being a prefix, a Cordillera prefix referring to someone coming from that place. So IBAGIW is proudly a statement of coming from Baguio. Not only the person, but all of its works, artworks, creativity, and innovations from Baguio. That's why we called it IBAGIW. Nowadays, which I think is a good way to use it as well, it's being used to refer to the people of Baguio. Because we've never had any, actually. We've never had any term for narinig natin Baguioites, Baguio people. So I've heard Mayor using it many times already to refer it to the people of Baguio. So we are all here as fellow IBAGIWs. Our people from Baguio, and proudly making and creating new things, innovations that is proudly made in Baguio. That is what IBAGIW meant. And we would like to present that with a new logo which is every year being done. For many of you who have been following us and know a lot of our artists might already be familiar with the color scheme and the style of the logo. This is actually designed remotely by our well-known mural artist, Benazir Martinez, who is now based in San Francisco, and always asking us how she could still help in spite of the distance. So this is one proud IBAGIW girl wanting to still contribute to our activities here in Baguio City. So that logo is designed representing a character in different forms, meaning in different way of expressing how he can be inquisitive and disruptive and creative all at the same time. Actually, may pangalan yung character na yan, which will be launched during the opening. Hindi ko kaya announce ngayon yung pangalan ng character na yan. So that is how the logo evolved. It is actually a graphical presentation of our theme. Okay, before discussing the activities for this year, as I've said, over the past 3 years, particularly after pandemic. But mind you, please recall that I think it's only IBAGIW Creative Festival that never stopped being conducted even during the pandemic. It's actually even more Venus, who incessantly pursue that we still have the creative festival even during the pandemic. But the numbers, of course, will have a different narrative during the pandemic period. So the numbers that I'm presenting now is after pandemic, starts in 2021, 2023, how we progress through the years with the different indicators that we have set for ourselves. Gross revenue is the conservative gross revenue for all of the creative products and services that we offer during that period only. For the months of November until December, because there were activities that were extended until December. This does not include, this is what I always tell everyone, this does not include the benefit or the revenues that might have incurred by tourists for other services, not necessarily those showcased during our IBAGIW activities. So you know how tourists go, they use transportation, the restaurants, they go to hotels. So those are also part of revenues that we are benefiting from whenever we have activities like this, which is not reflected here. So this is only the numbers that are directly from the sales, or the services that have been rendered during these periods of the festival, November to December. So 2021, it's a humble 14.5 million, 2022, 27.5, and 30 million for 2023. But I would just like to mention that these are not only the products and services happening in Baguio. We've also considered those that are happening outside of Baguio, and the best-selling activity always is the Impact Up side of Department of Trade and Industry, because they are bringing in not only the products of Baguio but the entire Cordillera region outside of Baguio City during these months of November. So it will happen again this year. So the bulk of that is really those that are being offered outside of Baguio. We are also monitoring how we have reached our audience through Facebook reach and Facebook page visits. And as you have seen, we have been steady in terms of our numbers until last year. And even before we started this year, it is now already increasing in terms of reach. We also created, I would like all of you to follow this new page, a dedicated FB page for IBAGIW Creative Festival. Because in the past, we are using the FB page of the CBCC. or the UNESCO Creative City at Facebook page as our portal for IBAGIW activities. But since we have other activities beyond IBAGIW, that is what we have been using, we thought that we would like to have a separate dedicated page for IBAGIW. So please follow that as our new FB page, and we would like also to monitor how we start to reach our audience on that page. Our participating artists, now this time this is actual, not necessarily only those who are selling crafts, but participating in many forms, like in our activities, the performers, the creative directors, etc. So we are growing steadily from 2021 at 838 and last year at 970. This year, perhaps we'll have a new number, but definitely, as Ma'am Vino said, we would like to see more younger participants. And even the children who will now be featured, will now be counted as participating artists, even only at inquisitive stage. Support staff are more of the technical and administrative staff rather than creative. These are personnel, even artists before that. These are personnel that are actually being paid. So we would just like to point out that services do not go unsupported. So these are the number that we commission every time for the past 3 years. Supporting institutions, we are steady at almost the same number from 18, 15 to 16 last year. And in our live streaming events, we have recorded live participants increasing 1,000 every year. From 2000 of 2021, last year it was 4,000 accumulated live participants in our live streaming services. And we are also reaching out to, in terms of promotions, and is gaining PR values of, well, 2021, because after the pandemic, we would like to be more aggressive in promoting. That's why we have a bigger figure. And we have decreased that in 3.2 million because it appeared that we have more organic mileage rather than paid advertising. So we have lessened that already. So now we have more organic followers. So this is just a glance of what we've achieved so far for the past 2 years, but only for IBAGIW. Okay? And as I said, creativity does not stop after IBAGIW. It happens all year round, and there are many other activities and other benefits and other accomplishments that we've gained, particularly with the help of CBCs. So now we will go to the different activities. So that's basically the question every year. What is new? What is new this year? Okay, so we will present first the highlights. By the way, we have several activities also led by other private entities that were included in a separate calendar. But we would like to present first the more traditional ones. So I'll just use my copy here. Kasi hindi ko makita yung ano.
Pareho ba tayo tingin ang mata natin, Sir Allen? Ito
Yung TV kasi nakatalikod sa akin.
Okay, is it being shown?
So I don't know what the audience is seeing.
Okay, sige, let's go on.
There. This is something that's always being looked forward to, not only for our locals, but even national dignitaries who started following our creative festival. What is it going to be new for opening data? So in the past years, it's really a spectacle of good shows that can only be experienced and seen here in Baguio City. So this year is going to be entirely different, but of course we'll have the traditional flow. But in opening our IBAGIW Creative Festival, we thought of bringing together young performing artists. Not only performing arts, but even digital arts. So it's going to be a high-tech show, conceptualized, directed, and to be performed by young Baguio artists. which is going to be separately announced, what is going to be presented there. But it's definitely something different, medyo high-tech siya ngayon. Because nga sabi ni Ma'am, gusto natin disruptive, how our traditional cultural components of our creativity can be merged with new technology. So we'll see that in a performance show in the opening gala. So something to watch out for.